No, I'm not gay. I tried it though. It looked too fun. I had to give it. I had to give it a shot. I tried it once. It wasn't for me. You know. I think it was my fault. I think I was too bro about the whole thing. That's about the circumstance. Because I met a guy and he was cool. He was sexy and he was like we were at his place and he was like, welcome, come on in. He's like, have a seat. Do you need a drink? He's like, oh my God, I love your top. And I was like, thanks, nigga. Like, yeah, give me that. Give me that Earl Grey tea. Like I was like, what am I doing? I didn't know what I was doing, but he was into it. We start to get a little things started heating up. You know, this is when I knew I was straight. I knew I was straight the moment I touched his penis. That's when you should find out. That's when you would know. I was there eye to eye with it. I was looking at it. It was looking at me. You know, and then I go, and he's kind of like, well. And I grab it, and I was like, uh-oh. You know, because I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it felt familiar but different. It felt, I hated the angle. I'm like, oh. I tried to get to where I was more comfortable. I tried to look up. And he was like, go on. And I didn't know what to do. I just bro hugged it. I was just like, hey, I gotta go, man. You take it easy. Like, while holding his pee, I just fist in his ass. No homo, dog. This is weird. I gotta get out. Then I dapped up his penis on the way out. I was like, I'm out. I thought I'd like it, but I didn't. Didn't care for it. Not afraid of it, just didn't care for it, you know? You know, I'm not afraid of gay dudes. I've had lots of run-ins with gay dudes. Remember there was one, this was a drug one. Y'all like drugs? Is this a drug crowd? Yeah! Oh, okay. All right. Easy now. Maybe after. But yeah, that's good. Have you ever liked drugs like too much? Like you realize you're like, uh-oh, I need to slow down. He is loud and proud and needs a doctor very soon. No, God bless. This is what happened to me. This is what happens. I was at a bar. This is in New York. I was drunk. And I was very drunk. I needed to take a break. So I go inside the bathroom. It's a small little bathroom. There's a sink and a urinal and a stall. I go to the sink and I splash water on my face to, get myself back. And I just needed to break. So I go into the bathroom stall, lock it behind me. I just sit there. I'm not even, pants are up. I'm just it's one of those nights. And I'm sitting there. And then another dude comes into the bathroom and he skips the sink, skips the urinal, and goes straight to the stall, knocks on the door, and was like, hello, is anybody there? And I was like, yeah, somebody's here. Like it wasn't hidden. Like he could see my legs. Like I could have been using the bathroom. I was like, yeah, it's occupied. And he goes, oh, I'm sorry. I was just trying to do some drugs. And I was like, get in here. What are you doing? I don't like it. I close it back. I'm like, what are we getting into? It was cocaine is what he had. And this dude, he was short, he was black, he was clearly gay, and he pulled out the cocaine and he did a little bit, and then he handed it to me, and I was like, thank you very much. And right before I go to do it, he stops and he goes, I'm sorry. I just have to touch it. Yeah, referring to my penis. That's what he was talking about. And whoa, is right. And then I was in a predicament. Because I was looking at the coke and I was looking at him, and I was looking at the coke and I was looking at her, and and I was just like, okay, go ahead, because that's how I was raised, y'all. We're all Texans, you understand. Like, if my mom was in that stall, she'd be like, I raised you to share. Boy, he gave you some coke, you give him some dick. Give that boy some dick. And I'd be like, okay, mom. Texans. And I know, like, it sounds like a sketchy situation, but I'm gonna tell you, he was so nice, he was so polite. He was just outside the jeans too. Wasn't even going crazy. He was just right outside the jeans, and I was doing coke. We were both having a great time. Like, there was no issues. We were in our own separate worlds. But then as I got more on coke, he was pushing the boundaries further. He goes, I'm sorry. I just have to unzip and just go inside. And I'm so on coke, I'm like, nigga, do you, man? Ow! I didn't give a fuck. I was going crazy. He was making all these noises. He was like, oh. And I was like, that's right, motherfucker. Oh. And then he feels it again. He goes, oh. He kind of quivers. And I was like, I don't like that. Hold on. I was like, that was too much. I don't know what it was. It was like, that's when I was like, like, you know, like a rape fantasy? This was like a consensual nightmare. I was like, no! Keep going! And then eventually he goes one more time, he goes, I'm sorry. And you know what? I don't think this nigga was sorry at all. I'm gonna say that right now. I think he liked it. He goes, I'm sorry, I just have to taste it. And that's when I was like, that was one too far. I was like, no, sir. I'm sorry. I'll go, no, sir. I'm sorry. No, thank you. You are out of cocaine. I did all that fucking cocaine. And that was the deal. It was an exchange. If my mom was in the stall, she'd be like, no coke, no cock, baby. You know how I raised you. Know your worth. And yeah, we've been dating ever since. And it's been a real good,